let's get started. In our previous session, we have seen how to handle frames. Okay, so somewhere we got stuck, like we were not able to click on it. So we identified a frame. We tried to locate that particular element, but we didn't. We were not able to click on it. So I tried with a different browser in Firefox browser. The same code. I didn't do any changes. I just modified the web browser which we are using, which is from Chrome. I modified it to Firefox, and it was working fine. So let me rerun this code. See, it clicked on that advertisement. So if you go back here, this is the main page, and here is the advertisement. If you click on this page, buy home and decor products online at Amazon India. This page will be open. The same thing is opened by with this. So we identified this particular image, and we are trying to perform the click attribute. So we are trying to click on it. So it performed the click. So let me try with a normal click only instead of JavaScript executor. So driver dot sorry, a dot click. Okay. So this is the web element we identify, anchor tag. Once we identify this anchor tag, we are performing the click. Once we are performing the click operation, we are again switching back to the default content. Okay. So this is what we are doing. Let me run it. Okay. So even normal click is also working fine. Okay. So this is how we perform. This is how we handle the frames. So now you can handle the main page itself instead of the frames. So we came back to the normal window by using this command, this method, default content method, and now you can access the normal thing. Okay. So any doubts in this part? I didn't make any changes. I just changed the browser type. Like I just sometimes with the browser compatibility, also few things will work and few things won't work. So that we need to debug. So in real time, you won't get such circumstances, like everything will be proper. The environment will be proper to work this in such kind of things. Okay. So when I ran with Chrome browser, it was not able to click on it. Not sure why it didn't work. There might be some configuration issues. So now I'm running in Chrome, and let's see today if it is working. Yeah, today it worked fine. Yesterday it didn't work, but today it is working fine. Okay. So that's about the frames. Now we'll see if you have any doubts, you can ask me. On frames, do you have any doubts?
No.
Okay. So let's go to the next thing, which is alerts. So what are these alerts and how we handle these alerts? Okay. For this, let me open one website. Rediffmail.com. Okay. So in this homepage, okay, this is the Rediff Mail website. Okay. So without providing the username and password, I'm trying to click on the sign in button. Observe carefully. Without providing username and password, I'm just trying to click on sign in button. Once I click on the sign in button, one pop-up message, one pop-up alert got displayed. It is saying that please enter a valid username. Please enter a valid username. So if I click on OK, automatically username field got highlighted. So what we want to do, whenever some pop-ups or alerts are displayed, so this is an alert pop-up. You need to enter a valid username. Okay, so this is an alert. Or when you get a notification here, so when you are connecting to a particular website using your username and password, it will ask you if you want to save the password in this system, if you want to save the username or password in this system, so all these notification kind of things are alerts, pop-ups, all these how we can handle is using the alerts. So in Selenium, you have this thing called alerts concept. So if this kind of things comes when you're automating a flow, so when you're automating a flow, when you come across this kind of things, how we handle it. Okay, these are called alerts or any notifications if you get, like when you give some username and password and you are trying to save it, it will ask for the first time when you are logging in a particular system, it will ask you whether to save the username and password. If you click on save, it will save the username or password in your system. If you click on never, it will not save it. So how you handle these kind of things in case if you are coming across this kind of things in our Selenium automation, how you can handle all these kind of things. Okay. For this, we have the concept called alerts. Okay, let's see how it will work. We'll create a program. We'll write a program for it, how to handle an alert. First, let's see for this one, for Rediff mail. For this particular website, let's see how we can handle this one. This is a simple alert, basic alert. Let's see how it will work. Okay, so let's start with the WebDriver manager dot Firefox dot setup WebDriver dot get. This is the URL. Once we get that, we want to perform the click on the sign in button directly. So let me locate that particular element. Okay. So this is the value, this is the title, and class is this one, type is submit, name is proceed. So let's use the name attribute. Okay. So I'll use the name attribute, type is input, or let us use the class itself, no issue. So for input tag, this is the class, right? So this is
One
the,
minute,
yeah,
1 minute.
yeah,
Here, can we take class or name? Anything we can
anything
take.
you can take, right?
Okay.
Anything. For class, we have a shortcut with dot, right? So I'm using the anything you can take. No.
Okay.
So if you want to take, you can just simply use like this input tag whose name is equal to proceed. Like this, you can
If we get the class and ID, which one will take
ID,
ID?
because
Okay.
class means style, right? Whatever the style that particular web element is having. So it is we
But
cannot guarantee that the same style cannot be present for others. If you have ID, it is like a hotcake. You can just take the
it should
ID.
be unique, right?
Yeah,
ID is unique.
unique.
Okay.
If you have ID,
Thank-
you can directly take ID. No need to think for alternative.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So let us take this in this CSS selector. Driver dot find element by dot CSS selector. This is the CSS selector. And on this, we want to perform the click. So once we perform on this click, let's see what will happen. Okay, it will give some alert, right? In order to handle that, we have to create an alert. Alert A is equal to new alert of driver. We import this alert. Just a second. Sorry. So for this, we need to switch to the drive, switch to the alert. So driver dot switch to dot alert. Okay. So now we are switching to the alert, and that alert will be assigned to this A object. So now with this A object, you can perform the actions whatever you want. So if you want to display the text, whatever is the alert message is displaying. Okay, this is the alert text. Okay, so you can get A dot get text. There are actually three methods for this alerts. First one is get text, whatever is displayed on the alert. So see, when you click on this sign in, this is the text. Please enter a valid username. That is the text. If you want to use that text, you can use this method A dot get text, alert A dot get text. Okay, that is the first method. Second method is if you want to accept this one, if that means you want to click on this. Okay. So if you want to accept this alert, you have a method called accept. If you want to dismiss this one, you have a method called dismiss. Say suppose 1 minute. So a particular website, you are logging in this machine for the first time. Suppose say I am logging into Gmail in this system with my username and password for the first time, right? Username and password for the first time. First time I'm logging into this system. So in that case, it will show a pop-up at the right hand top corner saying that this is the username for Gmail, username and password for Gmail, username, password for Gmail. Like this, it will show. Do you want to save the password or do you want to dismiss? Here, you will have two options. If you want to allow this website to save the password in your system, you can click on the save. If you don't want to save it, you can click on this dismiss. So you will have two options here. So if you want to save it, you have a method called accept. If you want to dismiss that, if you don't want to save it, and if you want to discard this notification, you have a method called dismiss. Okay. So this pop-up, if you want to, so this notification, you can handle it in two ways. Either you can accept it or you can dismiss it. So for accepting, you have accept method. For dismiss, you have dismiss method. So there is another kind of pop-up, another kind of alert where you have to pass some keys. So it will ask you, please enter an age or enter a name or something like that. So you have to, so this is a kind of text field. This is a kind of text field. So this field, you want to pass some keys. So general send keys method we have. So send keys, the alert A dot send keys method you have. Here you can pass the text, and after that you will have two things like if you want to confirm, click on confirm. If you want to cancel, you can click on cancel button. So for confirming, you have the method called accept. For canceling, for discarding this thing, you will have a method called dismiss. For accepting, you have accept method. In order to discard the changes whatever you have done, or you don't want this pop-up to allow the thing which it wants to do, then you have a method called dismiss. So four methods we have. To get the text whatever is displayed in this alert, you have a method called get text. Okay, alert A dot get text. If you want to accept the alert, you have a method called A dot accept. For dismissing the changes or whatever, if you want the pop-up to be cancelled or dismissed, so anything. So if you don't want to accept this pop-up, then you have a method called dismiss. A dot dismiss alert. A means alert here, the object of the alert class. Okay. And if you want to send some text to the text box which is present in the alert, inside the alert, if there is any text box and you want to send some keys, then you have a method called A dot send keys. Okay, send keys. So in this, you can provide some text here, and you can if you after sending the keys, if you want to confirm, you can click, you have a method called accept. If you want to cancel, you have a method called dismiss. So these are the four different methods in alert which you can use. Okay, these are the things that you can perform on an alert. These are the four things that you can perform on an alert. So now, as this is a basic alert, this is the basic alert, you don't have any other option, you have to just accept it, click on OK. So for this, what we will do is, so once we display that, so using this get text method, we are printing the display text, what is displayed on the pop-up. Okay. Now after this, we need to accept this one. So you have a method called a dot accept method. Okay. Once we accept, we will be back on this home page. So once we accept this one, once we click on this OK, now alert will be gone and driver will automatically be get the access to this window, to the main window. So once the alert is gone, the driver will automatically get access to this main window. No need to again switch to default content, or no need to again switch to parent window or something like that. By default, it will get access to this. Once the alert got so once the alert got handled, automatically it will get access to this main window, to the parent window. Okay, no need to give like no need to switch to parent window, or no need to switch to default content, or nothing like that. So it will directly get access. So now if you want to handle any particular element, so now if I want to perform some send keys method, so I want to give something in this username field. So let me use this ID. Just the input. Let me just refresh this. Okay. This is the one with ID. So let us use this one. Now driver dot find element by dot CSS selector with this. Okay. Dot send keys. I am giving some text like ABC. Okay. So let's see how it will work. So so first we are clicking on the sign in, we are getting this alert, we are displaying the text which is present on this alert, and then we are accepting this alert. That means we are clicking on this OK. So once we click so by default, the driver will get access to this main window. Once it gets the access to this main window, what we are doing, we are locating this particular username thing, and to this username, we are sending some text like this, ABC. Okay, this is what we are doing. Let me click on this. Yeah, it went very fast. So that is why you are not able to see. That alert came and it got accepted. Everything went in a fraction of seconds. So that is why you are not able to see. See, the alert got displayed. This is the message on the alert, but you are not able to see because it went very fast. So for that reason, what I'll do is I'll use this thread dot sleep here. Once we switch to this alert, let me use thread dot sleep for 3 seconds. Okay. So now you will be able to see what is happening. So it got displayed and it is, we use thread dot sleep, it accepted, and then it went and identified username field and it gave the text. Is it okay, all of you?
Yeah.
So in case if you get two things, like if you want to save and never, in case if you have two buttons to handle, then you can use either accept or dismiss. In this alert, you have only one thing, which is accept by, so you cannot do any other action. You just have to accept it. So that is why we use this accept method. If you have two buttons, either to confirm or cancel. So if you, in case if you get two buttons, then you can use either accept or dismiss. Okay. So two methods you will have: a dot accept, a dot dismiss. So a dot get text. These are the main four methods, like a dot send keys. Okay, four. These are the four main methods. If you want to send any credentials like username or password, sometimes it may ask the username and password. So in that case, you can use this set credentials method. But mostly we'll be using these four things: accept, dismiss, get text, and send keys. Okay. So sometimes if you are not, it's in the same example, if you are not entering the username and password and clicking on this, in the alert message, it will ask you, please enter a username. So that the two fields, whichever you here, they, you have the same two fields you will get here, and it will ask you to click on the sign in button. Okay. So in that case, you can set your credentials here, like username and password. So most probably you won't get such kind of things. So generally you will be using these four methods only. These are the four methods that you will be using: get text, accept, dismiss, and send keys. Okay. So this is how you will handle a alert. Okay. So we'll see to the next concept, which is how we can read the data from external source. From external source, how you will be reading the data. Suppose if you want to read the data from properties file, how you will read the data in your program. So first of all, we'll see what is a properties file, and next we will see how we can load this file in our code in our Java program. So this is a properties file. That means it is a separate file. We have to read the data from that file in our program. So why we need to do all these things? Why we need to read data from external files? Okay, all those things we will cover. I'll say one test case, one test scenario where you need to test user login scenario. You need to test a login scenario. So in this for this test case, what and all things you will need? So you need username, password, right? So will you check only one scenario with one test case with valid username and valid password? And if you are able to log into the application with these two details, this we call it as a positive scenario. And with this positive scenario, can you say that this test case is working fine? With this one test positive test case, can you say that this test login scenario working fine? No, you have to test others in other cases, like where all the negative cases also you need to test. In negative cases, you should not be able to log in. So in positive cases, you should be able to log in. Able to log in. In negative scenarios, you should not be able to log in. That means you should be unable to log in. So even this scenarios also you need to test, right? So in that case, you provide a valid username, invalid password. Okay. So valid username and password is empty. One more negative scenario: invalid username and invalid password. So invalid password. Okay. One more negative scenario: empty. Username is empty and you are providing some password here, may be valid or invalid, whatever, some password you are providing. Okay. In that case also you should not be able to log in. So one more negative scenario: both are blank, you should not be able to log in. So all these are some cases where you need to test. This is a positive case, all the remaining are negative cases. Only in positive case you should be able to log in. Okay. So all these are different cases which you need to test for a particular scenario. For a login scenario, all these things you need to test. So this data, how you are going to pass to the uh, script. to your to your script which you are writing in Java. So we store all this in, this is only for one particular scenario, login scenario. We might have lot of different flows, lot of different things that we need to test. So in that case, for all those for all those scenarios, how you will pass this test data? We generally call this one as test data. For testing a particular scenario, what and all data we need, that we call it as a test data. So all these things we store in a separate file, and so like Excel or properties file. So somewhere we will store all this data. So generally we use Excel sheets to store this kind of data. In Excel, we maintain all this data. In our code, in our Java code, what we do is we read the data from this Excel file. We get all this data from the Excel file, like valid username and password. So we will run the same test case, the same script for all these cases, for all this information, for all this data. We run our login scenario test scenario for all this data. So in order to do that, we need to first read the data from Excel in our Java code. In our Java code, we need to run this Excel, we need to read this Excel file, we need to read all this information. In order to do that, we are studying this concept called how to read data from external source. Okay, so why we need external sources? First thing is test data. This is the test data. So we maintain test data in separate Excel sheets. So in order to read that Excel data, we need to study this concept. The next one, apart from test data, we have some configuration related information. Configuration, like what is the URL that we are going to launch. So in our company website, we'll have only one URL, which is suppose if I'm working for testing the Gmail application, my URL will be https://www.gmail.com. Okay, this is the URL. If you want to specify any implicit weight, so every time I don't need to go and change in my code, right? So if I just change this implicit value, if I want to give 10 seconds, I can give it here. If I want to specify the explicit weight, how much explicitly I want to wait, no need to go and change in the code. So wherever I am using this implicit weight, I need to change. So in some, suppose in I have 10 scripts here. So these are 10 scripts where I am specifying my implicit weight is equal to 10 and explicit weight is equal to 20. So no need to specify in all the scripts like this. You can maintain a configuration file, and if you just change in this configuration file, it will be changed, it will be updated in all these 10 scripts. So no need to go and specify in each and every script saying that this is my implicit weight, this is my explicit weight. Globally, you can handle it in the configuration file. Configuration file means you are configuring all your like weights. You can handle you can specify your weights, URLs, you can specify which URL you need to test, like common things common to all these scripts. What are the common things for all the scripts? So weight thing, you can handle it here globally. See, if you modify at this particular point, everywhere in your script, in all your scripts, everywhere it will be modified. So no need to go to each and every script and keep modifying. So that kind of thing, like common thing which is common for all the scripts, all those things, if you want to control at one particular place, then we can use this configuration file. Okay, so explicit, you want to make it as 20 seconds, and browser type. So browser, if you want to use the Chrome browser, you can specify it here. If you want to use the Firefox, you can specify it here. So whatever the browser type you want, you can specify it here itself in configuration file. Don't worry, we will see it how we can handle and everything. For now, if you want to control the common things, you can specify it in your configuration file. Suppose if you want to run in Chrome browser all your test cases, so no need to specify in all the places here saying that launch Chrome browser. So whatever code you have to launch Chrome browser, that code you need to write. If you want to change to Firefox, if you want to change it to Firefox again, So now you want to run in Firefox. Once the Chrome is done, you have to change in all the scripts. You have to change in all the scripts if you are not maintaining this configuration thing. So in that case, what we do, we maintain this attribute in the configuration file, and using the configuration file you can use the switch case. So this we will discuss going forward when we are discussing the framework related things. So for now, which is the common thing for all the test cases, for all the test scripts, the common things, whatever we have, we can maintain them all in this configuration file, and we can control them here. So implicit wait, if you want to modify it, you can simply modify in this way, in this file. So and it will be applicable for all the scripts. So this is how a perfect tester, perfect automation tester, they will do. So I can simply say how an automation tester should be like is, you should be lazy in writing the code, because if you keep on writing for each and everything, then there is no concept of reusability. So you have to write the scripts, and you have to maintain your information in such a way that you write it once and it should be reused multiple times. That is the main thing that you have to keep in your mind when you're writing your test cases, or when you're configuring, when you're doing something, like if you're maintaining some test data or maintaining configuration or whatever you're doing, that should be in such a way that you write it once, and it can be reused any number of times. It can be reused any number of times. Okay, every time you should not go, so you should not say like, I have patience, I'll go to the code and every time I'll be keep on changing. No, it should not be the case. So you should be smart enough. So if you are writing it once, or if you are updating at one place, everywhere it should be modified. Everywhere it should, so you should be a smart worker. Okay, so implicit wait, you should not go to every time, you should not go to the scripts and keep on changing. And browser type also, you should not go to each and every script and keep on changing URL also. So all this common stuff which you are using in all the scripts, that you can be controlling in one particular file called configuration file. So this configuration file is called as, also called as properties file. We call it as a properties file. Why? Because property file is nothing but key value pair. So properties file means key value pair. I think we are aware of this words, key value pair. So it will store the data in the form of key and value. So key will be, suppose I want to say the, for the key, URL is equal to, this is my URL. So no need of this quotations and all. https://www.gmail.com. And implicit wait is equal to, say, 5 seconds. Explicit wait is equal to 20 seconds. Browser is equal to Chrome. Okay, so this property file will save the information, will save the data in the form of key value pair. So this is, all these things will be the keys, and after is equal to whatever we have, that will be acting as the value. So property file is nothing but the key value pair. That is why we use the property file for any configuration related data. Okay, so how we can access this properties file in our code? So that we will see it now. So in order to load this, in order to read the properties file, this is the code. First, you need to create an object for this properties class, and you need to create an object for file input stream and output stream. So what is this file input stream and output stream is? It will allow to read the data in the form of, so to read the data for input, we use, to read the data, we use input stream. To write something to that particular data, not only to read the data from this external files. If you want to write to this file from your Java, so from the JavaScript, whatever you are writing in this script, if you want to write something to this file, you use the file output stream. Okay. If you want to read the data in your Java file, so this is to write and this is to read. If you want to read the data, you use file input stream. If you want to write something to this file, you use file output stream. Okay. So these are the two things that you need to remember. For this file input stream, you need to specify the path of the property file. Wherever the file is present, this properties file, wherever you are saving it, that path you need to pass as a parameter to this file input stream. Okay. Now, the third thing, the last and final thing is this properties to this object, you need to load this file. You need to load this file. We'll still see step by step. And if you want to get any value, suppose if you want to get the URL value, just you specify. If you want to get this URL value, just you specify properties dot get attribute of whatever key. So if you want to get URL, you just specify it as URL. So this will return the value of this key, the value of this key. What is the value of this URL? https://www.gmail.com. So this is how you read the data. So we'll see an example. First, we'll create a property file and then save it in a particular path. Then we create file input stream and load the property file and we'll try to get the keys. Okay. Let me create a property file. I'll create one more folder here, resources. Okay, in this resources folder, I'll create a file, normal file. Okay, for this, I'll give a name called configuration. The extension of this file should be properties. Okay, for a property file, the extension should be properties, dot properties. For normal file, it will be .doc or .docx for Word documents. For text files, it is .txt. For properties file, the extension should be dot properties. Okay. So and now click on finish. Okay. Here you can store in the data in the form of key value pair. Now I am storing just in URL is equal to uh, https://www.gmail.com, and let me give implicit wait is equal to 5 seconds, and let me give browser is equal to Chrome. Okay, Chrome. Okay, let me save this file, and now the properties file is ready. It is available in this path. Now I want to read the data from this property file. So let's see. Let's create a Java class. Read properties. Okay. Now, no need to create. So for now, let me first create an object. The first step is to create an object for this properties class, right? So we will create properties. You selected from java.util properties p is equal to new properties. Okay. We have created an object. That is the first step. Created an object for the properties class. Once it is done, you have to specify the path where this file is located. So, and you have to read the data in the form of a stream. Stream is okay. So file input stream f is equal to new file input stream. Here you have to specify the path where it is located. As of now, it is located in resources folder. So go to the properties here, you will get the path. Okay, from here, I'll specify \resources. In Windows, So in Windows, you have to specify a dot. We have already discussed that one. So you have to specify a dot here. So in Windows, how you can specify the path is, this is how you can specify dot, two backslashes, resources, and file name. Dot means from root it will take. So from root, wherever you come across the current project, after that you specify a dot. So till dot means till the current project, till the current working project. That means Selenium demo. After that, you find in this Selenium demo folder, you find this resources folder. In this resources folder, this is the file name. So this is dot means till the current project, till the current project. This is how you specify the path in Windows. In Mac, I simply specify it like this. Okay. Now we are done with reading the file in the form of stream. Input stream we have read, but now we have to load it into in the form of properties file. That means key value, key value. In that form, we need to load it. So for that, we write the third step, p dot load the input stream in the form of properties file. You load this input stream in the form of a property file. That means properties means key value, right? So in that form, you need to load this input file. Okay, that is the thing. Let me import all the issues. Okay, we have loaded all this one. So what it will do is, if you are not able to find this particular file in that path, then it will throw file not found exception. So that is the we need to handle all these exceptions. So don't worry. The next topic is how we handle this exception. In that you will get to know what are these exceptions and how we handle them. For now, you ignore that one. We'll discuss it when we are discussing the exceptions concept. So three tasks we have done. First, we have created an object to the properties file, properties class. Then we have read the file in the form of input stream. So once input stream is ready, then we load this file in the form of a properties file. That means key value pair. Now let me get one property. The URL is p dot get property of key you need to specify. Remember, it will be case sensitive. So whatever the key that you have used in the property file, the same key you have to use. You should not, it should be case sensitive. So you cannot use like this. If you use like this, it won't work. So exact match it should be. So like in this file, you have used URL. The same thing you have to use here also. Then only it will work. So for now, let me save this one and run this program. What is the error? Let's So it is saying file is not found in this location. So let me remove this one and try with this. Yes, see, the URL is this one, right? Whatever we gave in the property file, that we are able to get like this. Okay, so now we will use the same thing and try to launch the browser. Okay, now let us string browser is equal to p dot get property of browser. Okay, so it will get some, so in this browser, whatever we have saved, that value it will get. So as of now, CHROMA, browser is Chrome. So how we can handle this one is, how you can switch between the browsers is, you use the switch of browser. Observe carefully. Spelling mistake.
Spelling.
Okay. So case, if it is Chrome, if it is Chrome, what you have to do? If it is Chrome, then you can use WebDriver Manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Okay. So before this, let us define a WebDriver. Okay, driver. Now driver is equal to Chrome driver. Okay. And now if so here you should give new. Okay. Now the second case is if it is Firefox. In this case, WebDriver Manager dot Firefox driver dot setup. Driver is equal to new Firefox driver. Okay, here you need to use break. I forgot to use. So if you don't use break, it will end up in error. So for switch case, definitely you need to use a break. So in the third case, if you want to use Internet Explorer or Safari, whatever you want, you can specify the case. So let me use Safari. Like this, you can write the cases for all the browser types. Okay, I am writing only for 3 as of now. WebDriver Manager dot Safari driver dot setup. Once it is done, driver is equal to new Safari driver. Okay, and then use the break. Okay, this is by default. If you are not, if the value which you are specifying is not coming under any case, you can simply print the output like this: invalid browser type. Okay, this is how you handle this one. Okay, now you are ready with the browser. Okay, browser is ready. Whatever, so whichever you are specifying, that browser will be launched. If you are specifying Chrome, Chrome browser will be launched. If you are specifying Firefox, Firefox browser will be launched. If you are specifying this Safari, Safari browser will be launched. So once the browser is launched, we need to get the URL. So for that, we have this thing like a driver.get of URL you need to specify. For this, what you can do is you have the property file, right? So p.get property of URL. You can specify this one. It is already initialized. Driver only, right? Okay. So before doing this, you can, if you want to specify the implicit wait, driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicit wait long time, you can get it from the property file. P dot get property of key, you can specify it as uh, implicit wait. Wait, it will be time unit dot seconds. See, property file will return something in the form of a string. So it will return a string. P dot get property will return a string. But whatever time we have to specify, it should be an integer, right? So implicit wait, even though we have specified it here as 10, which is an integer. Here we have specified it as 5, which is an integer. But still, when we are reading the property file in Java, here, if you are reading it, it will return it in the form of a string. So what we have to do, we need to convert that string to integer. So for that, we have a method called integer.parseInt of string. So this is the string you need to pass. So this string will be converted. This string, whatever the value returned from the property file, well, p.get property, it will return a string. That string we need to convert it to an integer. For that reason, integer.parseInt is there. So we are specifying it. Now, why it is throwing error is we didn't initialize this driver object. So if any of this case is not working, then driver will be null, right? So that is why it is throwing an error saying that initialize the variable. So for now, let me initialize with null. So whenever browser, the switch is happening here, in that time it will initialize the value new Chrome driver or new Firefox driver or new Safari driver. Okay, so this is how we will set up the configuration. Let me run this one. So as we have specified Chrome browser is launched. Okay, and it opened the Gmail web page, and we have provided the implicit weight also. Why we are using this integer.parseInt means the property file will return everything in the form of string. Even though you are giving integer over there, it will return everything in the form of string. So if you want to convert the string to integer, you use integer.parseInt of that string, whatever string, then it will convert the string to integer. Okay, now we have seen with Chrome. If you want to work with Firefox, okay, so you just modify it here. You just modify it there and click on run as. Now you see it will launch it in the Firefox. So Firefox is launched. So this is how you control all the configuration related data in the property file. Okay, if you don't want to launch this Gmail web page, so suppose 10 scripts are there which is using this same URL. So one file, if you change, everything will be handled. Everywhere it will be changed. So it is a one-time task. For the first time, you need to write code here. You need to write a lot of code here, but it will save a lot of time in future. So if you feel if you feel why to write all this code every time, we can go and change in all the scripts. So that won't work. So today you may write less code, but tomorrow if any change comes, you need to change it in every place. That will be even more risky. So why to take all those things? So if you write your code in a smart way, so that today the number of lines of code may be more, but in future it will help you a lot. Okay, so you have to write all your code in such a way that your smartness should look in your code, should be visible in your code. Okay, this is about the how to read the data from property file. If you by use there are three only one there is only one method, get property. So this, by using this method, you have to specify the key for which property you want to get the value. Okay, these are the three lines to read the data, to load the data into your JavaScript. The first one is to create an object for this property file, then read the file in the form of input stream. Once it is loaded in the form of input stream, we have to load it in the form of property. So we use the p.load of f, which is the file input stream. We are loading this input stream in the form of property. That means key value pair. Now you are ready to go. So you can get all the keys, like all the key values like this by using the get property method. Clear all of you? Is it clear all of you? Any doubts in this?
Yes, clear.
So this is how we read the data from property file. The next thing is how to read data from Excel. So we store test data in Excel files, external Excel files. So how we can read that data from Excel? So that is the next thing. So for this, we make use of this interfaces, workbook interface, sheet interface, row interface, and cell interface. This is a third party thing. So in order to access all these things, we need to update our pom.xml. We need to add some dependencies, and then we need to use it. So Excel, we cannot read directly by using the Selenium jars. We need to use external jar files, which contains all these interfaces, workbook, sheet, row, and cell, all these interfaces. Okay. So first of all, let's see what is a workbook, what is a sheet, what is a row, what is a cell, all these things. Then we'll go to what is this XLS and what is XLSX. Okay, so these are the two different formats how you can save your Excel. One is XLS, the other one is XLSX. This is the latest version. of Excel. So for the latest version, you need to use XLSX extension to save the file. In the older version, we used XLS. Okay. Now, what are these interfaces? Suppose you run this Excel file. Okay, this is the Excel. We call this, so if you are adding, you can add multiple sheets here. Okay, you can add any number of sheets. So this is sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. You can consider this as a book and sheets as pages. Okay, so in this workbook, you can add any number of sheets, and in each and every sheet you will have rows and columns. Okay, so for each and everything they have created, the Excel team, Microsoft Excel team, they have created interfaces so that this Excel can be easily read, excuse me, so that this Excel sheets can be easily read in any Java or any scripts whichever you are developing. In that scripts, if you want to read the data from this external Excel file, so these interfaces, whichever they have provided, they will help us to read the data. Okay, so workbook is interface is for opening or creating or modifying this workbook. Anything related to workbook, you can do it using this workbook interface. Anything related to a sheet, you can do it by using this sheet interface. Anything related to rows, so this we call it as a row, this we call it as a row. So related, anything that you want to do related to a row, you can do it using the row interface. Cell means one particular field here. This is a cell, this is a cell, this is a cell. So if you want to do anything related to this particular cell, you can do it using the cell interface. So for each and everything, they have provided the interfaces and the related classes, which is this is the class which is implementing this interface. So HSSF workbook is a class which is implementing this workbook interface, which contains all the methods internally. We just need to make use of it. The same way, in the latest version of Excel, you have XSSF workbook class, which is implementing this interface, workbook interface. The same way for sheet, row, and cell. So for the XLS format of Excel files, you can use, in order to read the data from XLS workbooks, XLS extension Excel files, you use these classes in your Java code. For the latest version, which is XLSX format, you use these classes to access the data. Okay, so we will see this part. We will see this part, how we can read the data from XLSX workbook. XLSX, like the data, the Excel file, we are storing it in the form of, in the format of XLSX, like how we have a DOC and DOCX. So DOC for Word documents in order to save it. The same way we have for Excel also. We will see it, how it will work, how we can read the data from the Excel by using all these classes which are implementing these interfaces. So in the next session, we will be going to see how we read the data. First, we'll create an Excel file with some data, and then we'll use all these classes to read the data that we will be seeing in the next class, how we will read the data. Okay. So till now, if you have any doubts, you can ask. So once it is done, reading the Excel data, we'll go to the exceptions, which is the last concept in this PPT. So once the exceptions is covered, then we'll go to the next one. How we are going to handle the exceptions, what are different kinds of exceptions. So we are pending with these two concepts in this PPT. So once this is completed, then we have few things to cover. Once it is done, we'll directly jump into the framework. Okay. Till now, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll wind up this class. Okay, so that's all from my side for today. We'll meet in the next session.